everybody, and welcome to Marvel Spank. Now, this is hopefully the second part, and it's not going to be a trilogy, because I did an earlier video about Comicsgate, and as you can imagine, the villagers came out with the fire and the pitchforks, and they were marching to the castle, and I put the drawbridge up. I didn't. I foolishly tried to engage them in conversation. All I did was get my fingers burnt. Fire hot, fire hot. So, what I want to do in this video, is clear to me, reading the comments in the last video, which I'll put a link at the end by the way, in the last video, is that there's a lot of misconceptions, and a lot of the things that were being spewed at me, like the venomous snakes they were in fact unreasonable, illogical, and in fact wrong. Now, let's get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way first. There's a couple of things that has come to mind that's not in the direct part of the argument against Comicsgate and the debunking of Comicsgate. The first thing is that when we're talking about Meyer versus Wade, a lot of people were going, "Oh, he's got every right to sue him. It's because of and they just quoted what was being sued for. You're confusing, not you, you're, okay. The Comicsgate, the backers of Meyer were quoting what he's suing another man for. Now, I could sue you for being aggressively raped by a farmyard animal that was in your possession. You don't even have to own a farmyard animal for me to sue you for that. Okay? All I need is to have the time and the money to do that. Because I'm suing you for the actions of that farmyard animal does not mean there's any legitimacy to it. By suing someone does not make you equally victorious. All it means is that is your stated reason for suing someone. Now, I don't claim to know enough about the law. I do not. I do not know anything about the law, but neither do you stupid motherfuckers out there. And there's probably one guy, maybe one, of the 700 or 800 people that will watch this. Huge numbers. Wow. Yeah, I know. I've got a shit channel. Wow, you've only got 88 followers. What do you expect? And there's like fucking 18 videos. You think you just turn on YouTube and all of a sudden, poof! Motherfucker famous! Motherfucker, because I haven't been having the sex of a famous person. So if I am fucking famous, and then someone needs to tell me and bring the sex, because I ain't having famous sex. Okay, anyway, point being. The point being, there might be one of you out there that is fluent in the verses of law. That isn't me, and that isn't 99% of the people that were fucking banging in the comments. Alright? I'm not foolish enough to say whether there's credence to it or if there isn't credence to it. All I was saying in that video is that when one man is suing another over the inflammation of fictional characters, there is something wrong in the world. And the fact that everybody is getting so over the top and animated and fucking furious about it from either side means, guys, it's fucking comics. That's what I'm saying. I ain't saying don't sue someone that's done you good, don't sue someone that's not done right by you. You be suing people for all the motherfucking reasons. I'm saying, for the extent of this discussion to have got to that point, something is wrong. And I don't believe it should ever get to that case. It's gone wrong somewhere. Something has gone wrong. Now, on the subject of Meyer, something curious has happened. He's changed the name of his channel, and I fully appreciate why. He's trying to distance himself, probably, maybe, a cynic may say, because of the legal battle he is about to engage in. But he's decided to distance himself from the movement. Good idea, on any level. Ha! Good idea! Right. And he's changed the name of his channel. We said that before I got a bit carried away. Changed the name of his channel. And all I didn't realise is this changed name of his channel is now a subscriber to this channel. And he put a comment on the other video, which was largely being heavily critical of him. And it said something towards, do more videos, your channel could be big. Now, my ego wants to believe that shit. Like I'm eating it up, like it's an all-you-can-eat fucking pussy buffet. But the cynic in me is saying, I'm just like, We're just waiting for the sucker punch. That's how I feel. But on another one of my videos, another gentleman has put, I found your channel because he mentioned your channel on his channel. And he didn't call me a cunt. And he didn't call me a faggot hipster. He didn't call me none of the bad stuff all the rest of them motherfuckers been calling me. He didn't call me no dumb, he didn't call me no stupid, he didn't call me no motherfucker. So I'm kind of like now, I'm going, well, this guy's found my channel because of that. And he put a comment, I don't know, mate. But his fucking head's gone. His head's gone. I guess we'll find out. Guess we'll find out. By the way, if anyone knows the video that he spoke about my channel in, I would love to fucking hear that. Again, that's ego. Even if it's bad, I'll be like, oh, I'm so important. You know who I am. Which is makes me a bit of a prick, really, doesn't it? Because I'm making these videos to criticise a man, but then because he's all fucking famous and got like getting on for 1 million subscribers, I'm like, oh, you know who I am. Yeah, I'm wearing a vest. I probably shouldn't do that character. I shouldn't, because, you know I'm letting myself in for some shit with what I'm wearing on this video. I know the fucking, you're a homosexual! Which, by the way, it's time that we myth-busted that. Myth-bust some general ignorances about me. What's acceptable in the comments, to me at least, probably not by general consensus, you look like you work in an Italian gay bar! Probably, but, you know, the gays of Italy are probably thoroughly well dressed, have probably really good jaws and fucking designer stubble. So I'm down for that shit, don't mind. Unacceptable, you fucking faggot, you look like you've been raped by 10 men. You tell you what, I will rape you with 10 men. Unacceptable, not to me, because I don't care, I can just block you. What is unacceptable about that is other people have to see those comments, and while you might think that's true of me, you might be a genuine folk and that is exactly what you were thinking. I do look like it's unacceptable for other people to use that kind of candid language in public. It isn't acceptable. And let me tell you one thing, friends. I'm putting myself out here and I accept that I'm not stupid enough to not realise that if I'm putting myself out there for public consumption and I'm going to complain about the nasty comments, then that would make me an idiot, as the comments say. I don't know if that's irony or dramatic irony or what the fuck it is, but I have to understand that. I do understand that. But if you're saying, right, that I'm stupid, that I'm fucking retard, right, any of that stuff, you can tell by the way I talk, I'm clearly not. I have a way with language. But I know, like with Russell Brand, and some people have said that now, again, he's a man that's confused having a big vocabulary with actually being intelligent. I'm not making that mistake, but I'm just saying, to say that I'm absolutely stupid and a retard and a fucking whatever, you've not been listening to what I've been, you don't listen, well this is a fact, most of you motherfuckers, if the ones that have made it to this far are on my side, already, you're on my side, okay? Because the motherfuckers that are on the last one, I had a retention of about 3.5 minutes. Now with you putting all my friends, my family, the actual subscribers, the people from Twitter that like me, that'll watch the whole video, that means the haters gonna hate, them haters, those hate, I need to drop that because that's actually quite racist. Someone at home go, hey, why are you talking about me all the time? You make me sound like a fucking pig. I got a PhD and I work at Johnson & Johnson. It ain't my fault I'm from. Anyway, that's get off topic again. Oh, I couldn't fucking remember. Yeah, so basically, these people have seen the title, they've watched maybe a minute or two, which I imagine is the time it took to write the comment, and I got a bit bored last time answering problems with my video that I explained in the video, but they didn't watch it past the time it took them to call me a cunt. A cunt's only four letters, so I'm astonished the retention rate got to 3 minutes, frankly. Anyway, right, that's enough of that fucking waffle. Get that shit out of here and let's get on to the point. Right, now, the matter at hand. Comicsgate debunked once and for all. It's not, and that's a big problem. I can't say with any certainty whether Comicsgate is 100% accurate or zero. I can only go on the rationale of the information I have and say, to my knowledge and with all the information available, this is what I think is the effects of so-called Comicsgate and its offending principles. That's the biggest problem. The people that I encounter on Twitter and in the comments are people that are so vehement that they're right. It's like trying to, trying to convince an evangelist that Jesus didn't live. It's just like, look, there's a chance that Jesus may have lived. I'd say there's a very good chance that there was that man. Whether or not he was the Son of God and all that, it's open. It's like, you can't nail it down to one thing or the other. Not really, because that's reasonable doubt. Okay? And that's the same thing with science. We say we're 99% sure, but we'll always have that 1% because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So it's all the same sort of thing. So to be so adamantly vehement in the tenets of either SJW or Comicsgate is a nonsense. And now, let's just take this part here. SJWs. Why are you saying you're not making these videos about SJWs? Why? They're equally as bad, they are, but let me be honest with you guys. I respect the movement of Comicsgate enough to oppose it. SJWs are just whiny little bitches that fucking want representation. And we should have representation, but what we don't want, as you probably agree, or let's just say America Chavez, the fucking new Bobby Drake Iceman. Do you know why I'm worried about them? Because those titles lasted for about 10 issues and then they got fucked off. That's why. Why I am opposing Comicsgate is, to me, there is legitimate concerns to the stuff that does affect me, and that's the mainline comics and also the industry as a whole. Now, what we're going to do for this, we're going to, in fairness, take it from two perspectives. The first perspective is my perspective, and I'm going to explain to you why my perspective, from my point of view, is correct, accurate, prim and proper and above board, as you were. And then the second one is going to be Comicsgate and why they say their reasonings are wholly accurate, sophisticated conclusions without reasonable doubt, and I'm going to say, in my eyes at least, why that is nonsense. So, we have a three-stage setup to this problem. We have the inputs, what's happening in the comics. We have the process, which is really what Comicsgate's describing, and then the output, which is the demise of all comics. Now, when I say all comics, what I mean is this has been focused at Marvel, in general. We do have, obviously, so-called SJW writers at all publishers, and there's a couple that I actually despise. Natasha Alterici at Vault. I will never buy another Vault comment because of that poisonous little cunt that only slags people off and reads bitchy fucking comments on a Twitter. Do you know what? If you hate the world that much, just don't go on fucking social media. Don't have social media. Just get on with your shit, draw your comics. Yeah, comics look nice. If you've seen Heathen, read Heathen, but do it knowing that you hate the writer and the art. The art's fucking beautiful as well. Why does she have to be such a bitch? I'd love to read it. Anyway, the point is, oh, fucking hell. I go off on too often. And the thing is, I like to do these videos without any edits because I just find them so disjointed. I think it's unprofessional. What's probably more unprofessional is these little bits that I get sort of fucking and my mind just jumps too many times. Right, so then we have the processes. The end of the comics demise. Get back to the beginning. So, the beginning. What are the inputs? Okay, the inputs are Marvel Comics are becoming too concerned with diversity and they're changing too much to the status quo, which is causing people not to buy the comics, which means that comic shops are going out of business, and that means that people's livelihoods are going, and it means the spiralling demise of all things comics. And this is to appease people that aren't even really buying comics, because we know this, because as I said, America Chavez, whatever the fucking name is, only went for like 10 issues, maybe 8. The Bobby Drake Iceman only went for about 6. They can kick up a fuss, but they don't buy them. Or the other option for that, by the way, this has turned into a criticising SJW. Anyway, or they are all buying the comics, but the demographic isn't big enough to sustain the actual titles. So doesn't matter. Right, back in 2015, Marvel switched to All New, All Different. At which point we had a Korean Hulk, we had a Lady Thor, we had a Black Spider-Man, we had a Black Captain America, and we had a Black Girl Iron Man. Riri Williams. Well, it's not Iron Man, is it? Because she's not a man, she's a girl. Oh, no, she was young, so we don't do things like that. But, no, Riri Williams, just a... Yeah, there we go. Riri Williams. Androgynous. So, and they really expanded the titles. I think in February of 2017, Marvel had about 125 titles. You couldn't keep up with it. My pull list was about 60 or 70 at that point, and I'm still catching up with some of the shit I was buying. Some fucking absolute awful shit. And yeah, in 2015, when they relaunched It's All New, All Different, the hit rate for the titles was bad, some of the writing was bad, and some of the characters weren't working, the new characters. Now, as far as the new characters go, the ones that did work were Miles Morales' Spider-Man, we had the Kamala Khan Miss Marvel, and we also had Jane Foster Thor. All the other ones, by the way, Totally Awesome Hulk is one of the worst heaps of shit I've ever fucking read. It's up there. Oh no, it's below. Of like moderately bad stuff, acceptable bad, it's the top. But then you've got shit like R.L. Stein's Man-Thing and fucking CM Punk's Drax. Oh my, read those two. Read CM Punk's Drax just for the entertainment of having a comparison of how bad it can get, and then you pick up what you think's alright, and then you're like, oh my god, this is fucking Shakespeare. Ooh. Right, so there was this general push. Now, what's happened is, in the last 2 years, we have got this golden age of creators. We've got people like Kelly Thompson, we've got people like Donny Cates, like Saladin Ahmed, like Matthew Rosenberg, Zdarsky's come through with a couple of killer titles, and then you've got some of the older guys that have been around during this period, but were still producing consistent levels of titles, like Al Ewing, like Jerry Duggan, like Cullen Bunn. These guys, Cullen Bunn's not really of that ilk, but he's been around, he's got longevity, and they're still producing some kind of consistency. Some of them probably a little bit hit and miss, but the point is, these fucking young guns are pushed on and through like this. And now, there is so much quality. And this is one of the things, this is one of the debunked things, this is one of the silly things that I see in the comments. I've not read, it made me stop reading Marvel Comics 5 years ago. But how the fuck do you know if they're any good? Okay? It was not a good situation. And since CB Cebulski's come in, they've put Jason, the biggest name, Jason Aaron, on the biggest title, Avengers. They've put Mike Del Mundo drawing Thor, Jason Aaron again. You've got someone like Scotty Young, who does that sort of fucking wacky sort of humour with brutality. Put him on Deadpool. And they didn't wholesale change anything. They just realigned the things that needed realigning. Brought back the Fantastic Four. Marvel 2 in 1. Fucking ridiculous title from Zdarsky. Oh my god! Brilliant! So, the fact that people are saying the title's still a shit, it's just not true. And anyone that says it's not true is one of two things. They're either so far down the rabbit hole that it'll pain them so much to say, I put all that effort in, 5 years, or 4 years, or 3 years of hating everything, and now they've just made it good again, and there's no point to anything that I was doing. I wasted 3 years, I'm fucking problem. See, that's one thing. Oh. Or it's just double down and go, no, it's still rubbish, I'm not going back, I'm not going back. And I'll tell you what guys, it's got nothing to do about the comments. Most of these people are just mean-spirited. I guarantee you, right, go on, look in the comments of this video, or go to my Twitter when I post the video and everyone calls me a bastard on there as well, right. Click on one of the negative comments. I won't delete any of the horrible ones for a day or so. Click on one of them, go on that guy's page and see what his content's like. See if there's anything positive in there or not. These people, they're not really worried about comics. Comics is one part of that they probably have an interest in, But these people all have problems at work and the relationships. Nothing's ever their fault. They don't know why they've been sacked, or they don't get promoted, or their girlfriend doesn't fucking like them, or they can't keep a girlfriend. I know this is really fucking presumptuous, and there's a couple of guys on Twitter, when I said something like this, they showed me their comics collection. But fair enough, you are 2 people, right, out of the 80 odd that's going to barrage me with negativity or personally insulting comments. You guys get the green pass. I'm talking about the other ones. You know, you 2 are the exception, you're not the rule. You are the specific scenario that does not disprove the global trend. So that's the first thing, okay? The first thing is the quality of the comics is affecting people buying them. Part 2, it's affecting people buying them. And this is the biggest myth bust. And yes, there is an argument between units and dollar value. But the dollar value for the overall comics industry has just gone through $1 billion recently. And I know there's inflation and price increases and variants and everything, but that is still, whether or not there's less than genuine reasons for them to do this, it's still the dollar value that's going into the industry. The last six years, there's only been 1 year that didn't have an increase. I've not seen the figures for December 2018, but it was within 0.5% increase or 0.5% decrease. That's what it was looking like for the overall year. And December's a slow month. So 0.5% above 2017 or 0.5% below. 2017 was the only drop year. And it was artificial because the previous year, DC had Rebirth. And it shot it all the way up artificially, so then it came back to a sort of normative level. And now we've leveled out. So that's 3 years, and the 3 years before that were all in increase. To say that comics are going down the fucking drain is nonsense. Nonsense. It's growing. And they're saying you're not taking advantage of the MCU, and yes, that was correct. Thor was a lady. Iron Man was a black girl, or Doom, owned by another studio. Captain America was black, and I've said all this, and it goes on and on and on. Yes, there probably was bad decisions made in 2015, but they've course corrected. They did take a lot of shit from the shops and from the sellers, but they course corrected. Okay, so the output. The process and the output. Now, let's say that all the first part of it is accurate to Comicsgate, okay? Everything's accurate. That the only input that could affect sales, despite market trends, despite the way we buy things online, or the way that the sales numbers are generated are from Diamond. And yes, Diamond only log not the amount that's sold at the register, but they only log the amount that they send out to the shops, and then the shops can't return them. So, and that's why the number of 200 shops going out of business in the last 3 years has been used. But what you have to realise is, comic shops don't sell comics. They sell everything. Think about your local comic shop. Maybe 1 or 2 walls. The rest of the place is full of shit. It's full of Funkos, it's full of fucking t-shirts, it's full of like die-cast figures, it's full of all kinds of shit. It's completely diverse. So if 200 shops are going out of business in the last 3 years, right, we can accept that Comicsgate's saying that Marvel Comics have fucked it up and nobody wants to buy them anymore. We've just seen that maybe not be true. But let's say it's right, and let's say that these 200 shops are exclusively closing because of bad moves by Marvel. By the way, Marvel has been the biggest selling comic book publisher for 19 of the last 20 years. 19 of the last 20. DC haven't changed Superman into a girl. They have not changed Aquaman into a big-breasted black lady. They've not changed Cyborg into a sex robot from Brazil. But Marvel is still 19 out of 20 years. That's all kept the same. Yeah, they fucked up. They fucked up good with New 52. By the way, they didn't completely fuck up because I've sort of been reading a little bit DC. Batman and Robin. Sick! Snyder's Batman. Sick! Morrison's Batman. Rubbish, then sick! But anyway, right, so they fucked up, then Rebirth boosted it up, but they still didn't best Marvel, right? We've still got all these image adaptations that are making it to TV. There's a list of about 50 indie titles now that are going to be on TV. So it seems like a Marvel problem, but they're still #1, and the prices are and the sales are increasing, and they're #1, and the rest of the publishers are kind of not doing that. But okay, let's just say for the sake of Comicsgate that it is Marvel making these changes 3 or 4 years ago, and progressively increasing it up to that point before it went exponential. Okay? 200 shops closing. Can't argue with that. Can't argue with that. Forecasts say possibly 18 months left. Potentially. 2 years or something before Diamond can't function because there aren't enough stores going. Right. This is the problem even when you put all the leniency with Comicsgate from the inputs to the process to the output. This is the one thing. We still have comic shops. People are still buying comics at the rate of $1 billion a year. Whether or not that is completely sales or units or dollar counts, there are still the shops available currently to take $1 billion worth of stock. Closed shops don't take stock. So 200 shops have closed. So the remaining ones have still taken more stock. Maybe not in units, but in dollar value. In the last 6 years, HMV, the biggest hard copy music seller in the UK, tradition of decades, HMV sells hard copy music, went bust 6 years ago, had to get bought out by Canadian HMV. 6 years later it's going into receivership again. Hard copy music is dead. Blockbusters, Blockbuster Video, home rentals went bust because of Netflix. They didn't adapt to the digital format. When was that? 3-4 years ago now? There's one Blockbusters. There used to be hundreds around the world. Gone. Borders. Sold books, sold music. In England, massive. Every shopping centre had a Borders. It sold books primarily. Then they added music. And then they even had comics in their trades. They sold anything of entertainment. Gone. 10 years ago. Every other form of hard copy music is extinct. If you want to buy a CD, in a year's time, you'll have to go to Asda, Walmart, you'll have to go to Sainsbury's. If you want to buy a magazine, well, you could probably still go to W.H. Smith's. That's okay, let's not get carried away. You can still buy magazines. There's still going to be newsagents because that's daily. I'm surprised there is, actually. Surprised there is. But you get the point I'm making. In the last 15 years, all high street sellers of hard copy media have gone extinct. The fact that we have shops with the capability of taking $1 billion worth of stock in America alone, where everything else is crumbling around it, says there can't be a problem. Now, I'm not saying comics are invulnerable. I'm not saying that. You might throw this video back at me in 5 to 10 days, months, years, and say, ah, you said comics would last forever. No. What I'm saying is, what I am saying is that by now it should have done. It should have done. But it hasn't. So to look, if we say everything was there, HMV, gone. Borders selling books, gone. Blockbuster Video, gone. The fact that comics are roughly staying the same is simply fucking phenomenal! And yes, there's been mistakes. Jesus fucking Christ. I was that far behind my standing order at one point. It was about 12 months, but I already got all but the last 3 issues of Generation X. And that was fucking terrible. I had to read the whole fucking thing because I paid for it. R.L. Stein's Man Thing was that bad. I read 2 issues and the other 3 have remained closed. I felt like taking them out in the garden, dropping them on the floor, shortly followed by my trousers, slowly peel them down, get out my moderately sized dick and pissed on them. That's how bad they were. So don't get me wrong, friends. I accept faults have been made and I accept the frustrations of the Comicsgate movement. As I said earlier, I don't see SJWs as a problem because they're just background noise. I'm making these videos about Comicsgate because I think it's a dangerous thing to say that something is catastrophically finished when in actual fact it is so far overperforming in the current climate that we should just fucking stand and clap. And yeah, there's a point of view, and I won't disagree with this point of view, that it's almost become now like football managers. Whereby, imagine you know who Jose Mourinho is. Now, people bring him in to win titles, but you can forget about any young players coming through. Because he thinks about the next season, why waste time bringing through youngsters when they can't win you this next game? Because if I don't win that next game, I might get the sack. So, all that current, was it chief operating officer or whatever it is, will think is, right, what's going to save me in 6 months' time? What can we do now? And I understand that, and I'm not saying it's perfect, and I'm not saying mistakes haven't been made, but I just think it's important to acknowledge the things that we all love, and it isn't all doom and gloom. Okay guys, again, these things are always fucking so much longer than I ever expect them to be. So, shall we call it a day? Shall we call it a day? Oh, by the way, just out of interest, Mr. Meyer, it would be very interesting, let's say you're one of the 3 people, including me, want to watch it on my other account, that has watched this video to the end. When did you talk about this? When did you talk about all this? When did you talk about this? What was the video? I want to know. I want to know! That was fucking terrible. No singing. Voices, but not singing. So yeah, anyway dudes, fucking great if you made it to the end again. There's all the Twitter and Instagram shit that I put up in the beginning. So that's the end of this one. Peace out!